Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 4C Marketplace podcast. Today's guest is Matthew Gobert. Matthew Gobert is the Vice President of Environmental Monitoring Services Incorporated, or as everyone in the industry knows them, EMSI, a company that's been around for 30 years and is currently one of the largest privately held environmental monitoring services companies, servicing Houston as well as other oil and gas companies nationwide. Without further ado, Matt, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, Uzi. How are you? Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity. As you brought out earlier, Matt Gobert. I'm the Vice President of EMSI, which, as you brought out, we're probably one of the largest private-owning LDAR companies left in the industry. I like to refer to myself probably not as the Vice President as much as I am a LDAR aficionado. You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah. Why don't we just change your title to aficionado? I'll keep that from now on.
I like it.
So we're really glad to have you guys on board. One of the things that we like to discuss is not only just, what value you guys provide to the environmental realm, but also kind of the story of your company. As you said earlier, you mentioned just a minute ago that you are one of the only few LDAR companies left. Would you mind going into that a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. We're one of the only LDAR companies left that just has one owner. And most of our competition was either bought or joined other companies that are much bigger that provide other services. Some great companies out there, but they also provide other things, whether it's maintenance or valve repair, things like that. EMSI, LDAR is what we do. LDAR is what we stay true to, and it's kind of our niche. It's what we do.
Right. So kind of laser focus on, really optimizing and providing the best LDAR services that you can, basically. Right.
Correct. We like to kind of more refer to ourselves as your LDAR consultants. We not only provide the services, but we can consult you through the steps on how to get what we feel an A-rated LDAR program.
Right. And for those members of our audience that aren't acquainted with LDAR, would you be able to kind of give a breakdown of what LDAR is and what you guys really do?
Yeah, LDAR is actually leak detection and repair. What we do is we actually go out and monitor the components in the units that aren't supposed to leak, such as valves, pump seals, control valves, things of those natures. We gather and collect that data in handheld data collectors, bring it back to a database that the client purchases to track emissions. And those emissions are turned around and used on an annual basis for emission inventory report. And for, lack of better words, showing the government that you are following the rules and regulations to make sure the environment stays safe.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense from the regulatory drivers, as well as, I guess, as they say, what you don't measure, you don't improve, right?
Amen.
I love it. So with your company, I'd really like to talk about how long have you guys been around, and how did you kind of come up with your name? You're privately owned. How did that all start?
Well, actually, our owner, the company's been around for over probably 33 years now.
Okay.
Started as a small company. The owner was an actual unit supervisor for a hotel.
Wow.
In the late 80s, he saw something that he thought he should jump in and get ahead of. He saw LDAR being something that he had to show a contractor around his own plant. Took some interest, did a little research, and he started his own company. And 3 to 4 years into it, he was able to quit his full-time job he had, over 30 years seniority in, and go to EMSI full-time.
Right. That's fantastic. Nothing warms my heart more than a story about someone seeing an opportunity and going after it, right?
Yeah, big time. And it's been EMSI. One of the things we try to do is, become partners with our clients. That's real important to us, not just to be the contractor, but to be a partnership in compliance. And I think that shows in some of our relationships. 30 years ago, he started EMSI, and we still have the first client we ever had to this day.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So I could think you kind of mentioned it just now. Kind of your value proposition. You talk a lot about relationships, and that kind of being the bedrock of your company values. I guess in your word, what sums up EMSI and your focus and your culture as a company? And what is your value proposition to, all of your clients as well as anyone that might consider uh, having you guys come on board as their contractor?
Good question. I think personally, from my standpoint, our culture and everything we do is all about the people we work with and the clients we do work for. I mean, one
Right.
thing we strive to do is build a relationship where we trust one another. The client knows that all the information we bring to them is out of their best interests, so to speak. We don't just wait for them to tell us what they need from us. We try to be a little proactive and help them not only maintain compliance, which is probably the most important, but also do things safely and as cost efficient as possible. Because we know
Right.
that's the most important thing is making sure you get a good product for the best price.
Exactly. No, that's very true. Those are definitely a lot of different metrics people will take into account, and I completely agree with you. The better the better value at the better price is always what's gonna make someone make that decision. Kind of taking another tack here. You've been in the industry for how long, Matt?
Actually, this year it'll be 27 years.
Wow. Okay. And then I guess so. You've definitely probably seen the way that this industry has developed. Do you have any kind of interesting takes or stories from your time? What's been the most memorable experience you've had since working in this industry?
I mean, there's a lot of great experiences. Got to work with a lot of great people, a lot of great companies. I mean, the thing that I really take away from working in this industry is, when people pass by, maybe on the interstate, the freeway, and see the facilities, they assume they're polluting and, destroying the atmosphere. But if you really knew how much the different companies spent in efforts to make sure the atmosphere is safe and they follow the rules and what they're doing is actually improving the environment versus taking away from it. It's really really impressive.
Right, right. Sometimes you don't really know what you can't see, huh? So,
Exactly. But again, on top of that, it's always been great to actually see Eldor programs inside of facilities, grow and be maintained. It's just like I said, it's a very very interesting industry, and we kind of laugh about it because we feel like Eldor is kind of like the mob. Once you get in, you can't ever get out.
I try to leave and they pull me back in, huh?
Sucking you back in.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that one before, but it's definitely a small world. Having spoken to some other Eldar companies, um, so I guess with that, do you guys kind of see yourselves as coaches for your clients? I mean, you're talking about seeing and watching and really stewarding these companies, growing their own Eldar companies. Is that kind of the role that you guys take? And what do you think about that?
Oh, I think our clients expect us in some cases to be coaches,
Mm.
with our vast experience and dealing with different facilities throughout the country. We feel it's kind of our job to bring the different things we see, that other places are doing really well.
Right.
Spread the wealth is definitely a big model for us. If we see something going well at one site, we like to kind of spread it around, tell the clients about it. We go to different shows, such as 4C. We
Right.
encourage our clients to be there. If they can't, we bring that information back. Hey, we heard this, or we did some network with other companies that are kind of in your same situation.
Mm.
I think all that is very important when you're trying to build relationships and you have clients that are counting on you to
Right.
make sure they stay in compliance.
Right. No, absolutely. At 4C, we're all about understanding and trying to find best management practices, and really publicizing that so that we as an industry can get better. So I'm definitely right there with you. I'm happy to hear that not only do you guys get, help your clients on site, but you're actually applying things that you learn from other sites and the other companies are doing successfully and applying it to your other clients as well. So that's really great. Um, so I guess from a macro perspective, there's a lot of regulatory changes going on and kind of, different techniques, people, different focuses, a lot of kind of uncertainty. Um, I'd like to get your take on what you think what one thing, or it could be a regulation or technology, do you think will be having the greatest impact on the industry over the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
Definitely the IR camera. I think it not only has revolutionized the way we see and track fugitive emissions today, but the next 4 or 5 years, I see it probably being the main way we do all our LDAR monitoring. I mean, it's just phenomenal equipment, the way you can monitor things safely without having to hoist people up in baskets or shimmy through pipe racks. I think it's the next level for sure.
Right. Do you see that being more of a handheld, kind of a fixed stationary, or even, I've heard of some people thinking about applying drone technology to the use of IR cameras. Which one do you think? Do you see maybe short term happening?
I definitely see the handheld as well as the drone being the short term. I think, the technology is pretty much here for the handheld capability. The drones, which are extremely exciting to see how those things actually work. Still have a little work when it comes to some of the rules. I mean, you have to have a pilot's license to be able to operate those things in most cases.
Right.
Still a little work there, but
Right.
I definitely see all that being right around the corner.
That's fantastic. And especially that's interesting to hear from, someone like EMSI and you guys, because you guys have been so, tied to the hip with Method 21. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, Method 21 is kind of like the workhorse, one, because of a regulatory driver, but two, that's just what we do, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. But like everything else, if you don't change with the times, you get left behind. And I mean, we definitely see it as a way to not only improve upon the actual type of technicians we use to do the actual monitoring, but also, like I said, from a safety standpoint, being able to see things from a distance, not having to have people, hoist up in the pipe racks and things of that nature. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. Not having to spend thousands on scaffolding to get people up to monitor one point.
Correct. And I think you see signs of that even today with the quad OA monitoring. I mean, a lot of the quad OA facilities are electing to use the camera. And I mean, what would normally take 2 or 3 people to get everything documented, inventory, and monitored, you can send one guy out now and do all the work in a third of the time.
Right. No, that's definitely interesting to keep up on for sure. And actually at 4C, we'll actually be highlighting some drone technology companies. So we're pretty excited about that. So kind of going back to EMSI, what's your guys' focus? We've kind of talked about, like what you think the future is going to look like within the industry standpoint, but what do you see for EMSI? How do you guys plan to position yourselves in the future? And as well as what's your, I guess, next big focus?
Oh, well, I guess it's mostly as top secret, so I can't give you all the juicy details, Uzi, but
oh man, I'm all about the juicy details.
No. We definitely see, the next big moves for us is to one, keep providing, great service to each one of our customers, keep being extremely transparent, not, we want to be an open book to all our customers, getting more involved in the front end when it comes to helping them use the data we collect to, adjust permits in some cases. I mean, just being able to do more than just go out and monitor or look at things with the camera, but also help consult them through every phase of leak detection repair.
That makes sense. Technology will definitely have an impact, but some things like really good service never changes, right?
Yes.
So that, I think that kind of wraps us up for now, Matt, and I really appreciate your time. If you can, if the audience wants to find you, where's some good places to look out for EMSI and you specifically?
Hey, for sure. Check out our website. It's www.emsi.com. www.emsi-air.com, as well as you'll find us at 4C. We'll definitely be representing. Been there since day one. Um, and definitely you can catch me on all social medias, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, as well as my cell, 832-454-5663.
Perfect. So with that, Matt, I just really wanted to thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for your time. It's really always an enjoyable experience getting to talk to Matt Gobert, as everyone in the industry knows.
I really appreciate it. It's an honor, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Thank you again for joining us on this episode of the 4C Marketplace Podcast. The 4C Marketplace Podcast is brought to you by the 4C Conference. The 4C Conference will be taking place April 3rd through the 5th at the JW Marriott Hill Country Resort in San Antonio. If you'd like to see EMSI as well as Matt Gobert in person, come join us. Register today for the conference at www.4cconference.com. Thanks.